Sarvebhyo Namaskaraha. Good morning to all. I welcome you all to this session of Sanatana Dharma Basic Level Course being hosted by Veda Samskruti Samiti in association with VYV Vidyapit. Today we'll be having lecture on Ayurveda by Dr. Kavita Agrawal ji. We'll start our session with Vande Mataram by Dr. R.J. Kalpana.
Nams. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Sashya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Shubhrajyotsna pulakitayamini Fullakusumita drumadala shobini Suhashini Sumadhura bhashini Sukadam varadam mataram Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram,
Vande Mataram. Thank you, Dr. Kalpana ji. Now I request Anjaneya Shastri ji to recite Prarthana.
Sarvebhyo Namaskaraha. We will start with 1 minute of meditation. गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवस्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसाधनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रयवत् ॐ श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुरेव गतिः गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मां पाहि गुरो। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रुतिस्मृतिः पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादः शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। मातृदेवो भव, पितृदेवो भव, आचार्यदेवो भव, अतिथिदेवो भव। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनामधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ श्रीं गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्।
Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you, Sri Shastri Garu. Now we'll start our regular session. I invite Dr. Kavita Agrawal ji. Welcome, ma'am. I'll just give a brief introduction about Dr. Kavita ji. She is a postgraduate in Ayurveda Samhita from Nagpur University. She has excellent academic record. She was university topper in many of her exams. Presently, she is working as professor and head of the Department of Samhita and Siddharth in Sri Dhanvantari Ayurveda Medical College and Research Center at Madhura. She has long teaching experience of about 26 years. She published several articles in national and international journals. She chaired several Ayurveda conferences. She has also authored books on Sharpani Samhita and Harita Samhita. I hope the pronunciation is correct. She is very active in she is very active member in many social activities in the field of medicine, and she is a linguist knowing many languages. With this brief introduction, I welcome ma'am again and request you to take over the webinar.
सर्वेभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। अंगिराजमदग्निश्च वसिष्ठ कश्यपो भृगु आत्रेयो गौतमा सांख्या पुलस्त्यो नारदोऽसीत् अगस्त्यो वामदेवश्च मार्कण्डेयाश्वलायनो पारीक्षिर्भिक्षुरात्रेयो भरद्वाज कपिञ्जला विश्वामित्राश्मरथौ च भार्गवश्च वनोऽभिजित् गार्ग्यशाण्डिल्यकौण्डिल्यो वार्षिदेवलगालवो सांकृत्यो वैजवापिश्च कुशिको बादरायणा बडीशा शरलोमा च काप्यकात्यायना विभौ काङ्कायना कैकशेयो धौम्यो मारीच काश्यपौ शर्कराक्षो हिरण्याक्षो लोकाक्षपैङ्गिरेव च शौनकाशाकुनेयश्च मैत्रेयो मयमतायनिः वैखानसा बालखिल्यास्तथा चान्यं महर्षया ब्रह्मज्ञानस्य निधयो दमस्य नियमस्य च तपस्तेजसा दीप्ता हूयमाना इवाग्नया सुखोपविष्टास्ते तत्र पुण्यां चक्रुः कथामिमाम्। Hope I am clearly audible.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Now I will introduce you to our great Indian health science named Ayurveda. The name itself gives you the idea because none of any health science has the word Veda. Why it is in Ayurveda, there is also a significance. As soon as the journey of the life has been started on this earth, when all the creatures, when they were starting their day with sunrise and stopping at the sunset, they were all healthy. It is the documented. But once They have started it according to their will. And that terminology comes in Ayurveda called a Gramya Ahar Vihara. In other word, we can say it when the people start living with making the colonies and all that. They were not now residing in forest, jungle, and the population was very less. So the moment this ahara and vihara has been changed, the prakriti started shifting from its prakriti level to vikruti level. And when this vikruti has been started, that is the origin of the diseases. Till recent some years, nobody was agreeing with this basic concept of Ayurveda. But nowadays, everybody is talking about lifestyle disorders. What are these lifestyle disorders? That means we are now going away from the nature's law. Non-biasly, if we start our day with sunrise, you will see our energy levels are high. Our grasping power, our concentration power are also high, because that is the level of the all happy hormones nowadays, what we call, they are on the peak. Brahma Muhurte Uttishte, that is our first golden rule since thousands of years. And now we are breaking that first rule only of the health. Ayurveda, when it says about Ayu, that is health, it has its own definition also of the health. And that was universal definition. And from the day one when the Ayurveda concept has been introduced in the human society, that health is not just merely an absence of disease. It is the state of your body and mind also when you feel physically and mentally fit to do your all performing your duties throughout the day, even the ratri charya also. At night also, if you have a good sound sleep, then only your health is restored. All of us might have observed this with our own experience, that when we cannot sleep properly, the next day we don't feel that normalness in our everything, in body activity, your thinking, your working capacity, everything. Many a times there are the research papers which are saying that a man can survive few days without food, without water, but he cannot survive longer if he don't have the sleep. So this physical aspect, mental aspect, the day activity, your whole schedule for the day, how your nidra and all that, that has been well documented and well considered at the journey when the life science journey has been started. Now the recent sciences or contemporary sciences, they are saying that it is mandatory. So the definition they was Swasthasya swasth rakshanam aturasya vikar prashanam. Ayurveda is the only science which tells you how you can maintain your health, because it gives much more importance on maintaining the health instead of curing the disease. Why so? All of us might have observed that after surgery, there are no presentation of the diseases, or after many treatments also. But the patient always says that I'm not like when I was prior that episode. Why this happens? Because artificial management is artificial only. The nature has given us a beautiful this machinery which has its own way of treating itself. when we start listening to our body, what signals our body is giving, what our body is asking us, if we listen it, then we remain healthy. That is also one key rule. You might have observed, all of us have observed, that if we don't have the proper digestion, next day we don't have that feeling of hungerness. Why? Because body itself gives you the signal that my residual food material is still in my body, that has not been digested completed out, or it has not been excreted properly. But many a times we ignore that. Oh, it's the time of breakfast, we start eating in that. This all things which I am trying to give you the idea, they are explained under the umbrella of dinacharya, which is the key element in Ayurveda. It gives you the idea that how you should start your day. This Ayurveda, all of us know, it is our old ancient health science. One proud moment I want to share with you, that there are three main literature from where the Ayurveda has been described. They are Charak Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, and Ashtanga Sangraha. Charak Samhita mainly describes the medicinal part, which nowadays we call it as a medicine. Actually, that is the whole health science only, but specially orientation is for the medicinal part. Then Sushruta Samhita, it deals with the surgery part. And I think on WhatsApp and TV also, all of us might have observed 2-3 days back only that in Scotland, the University of Edinburgh, they have installed the statue of Maharshi Sushruta, who is the writer of that Sushruta Samhita, as a father of surgery. You will be amazed to know that thousands of years prior, there were surgeries described in the Ayurvedic text. And the level of that surgeries are eye surgeries, brain surgery, and plastic surgery, which nowadays, when we call it as an advanced stage of health science, still they are supposed to be the critical one. So somewhere in between, several invasions has come. We all know the factors, what happened with our literature, our Sanskriti, our Jnana, and all that. In between, something was missing. So, and our education system, though it is the Indian science, our government or our educational policies has not given that much importance to those things. So the any science, it has to be always keeping its principles intact, always has to make some updation according to the changes happening in the society. And these changes, this research happens when it gets, there is a word in Sanskrit that is called the Rajashraya. If you have that Rajashraya in ruling power, or the who are in the central policies, if they give the proper importance to that, the updation happens according to the era. So somewhere that has not been happened there. So many are people, they are not knowing it out. Besides, some that is the irony, that we see that on beside the roadside and all that, people put it some that leaves, stems and all that, and they claim it that this is the Ayurveda. No, dear friends, it is not Ayurveda, because Ayurveda don't have such concept of medicine that one medicine can be given to all. Just like paracetamol, that paracetamol will given, we can given if anybody has a fever, to everyone. This commonest example why I'm giving, because this drug is known by all of us, and after COVID everyone was knowing Dolo 65 and all that. Just like what these quacks, I call them quacks, they do, as we have one more traditional way. Ayurveda was taught and percolated in the society by the Gurukul system. Why the importance of Gurukul was there? Or maximum our knowledge we see that has been percolated in the generations through Gurukul system only. As Gurukul system has its own parameters for judging the shishya, that is student, and there was a liberty for shishya and his parents also to judge the guru, that is called shishya pariksha and the guru pariksha also. And it is not like that, nowadays we give the entrance, all the students they are writing the same thing. All of us are knowing that nowadays the research paper says that everybody is have his own ability and own way of learning. Some students, they learn very good just by listening. Some has grasping power with audio visual. They want to listen also and to see their teacher also. Somehow that whatever they read or they listen or something, they write it out and then they are able to recollect it and reproduce that knowledge. What exam is what? Exam is just a reproduce of the knowledge. What you have gained, that you have to reproduce on that paper, or even in the VYV exams also what we are doing, we are reproducing that knowledge verbally. So this ability, can it be judged on the base of entrance exam what it is now is going? My opinion, no. It was possible in Gurukul system only, when Guru used to take one-to-one interview of that Shishya. At that time, with the ability, he was judging the method which was suitable, or the knowledge which is most needed by that student. So according to the yogyata or patrata of that student, that knowledge was given. This was the background of our knowledge system. We miss that and we start giving with the current scenario. I generally call it that we are playing cricket with the rules of football. It is just like that. Our knowledge can be given and can be received by our methods only. If we try to give or take it the way other science, it won't compensate because it is not evolved with that. Prior 2-3 years prior, one Nobel Prize has been given to the Japanese scientist, I am not remembering the name, for the autophagy. Isn't that concept was in India? Everybody among us, we are much aware about upavasa, fasting, or the langhana. This fasting or upvas is called in Ayurveda langhana. What does it mean? As I told you that Ayurveda gives first importance for the maintenance of the health. Swasthasya swastha rakshanam. So what it says, whenever, because all of us have to keep three things in mind. One, only there are three roots or three things we can put inside the body. First, food. Second, water. And third, the shwasa, which we were taking. Shwasa part is also very much described and inculcated in Ayurveda, and that is we all know through pranayama. How that shwas we take it out for all time. CSR Prabhu always very nicely he explain all those things while taking the class. And food and water, these two things we have forgotten how to take. So the diseases are more. In our sciences, we always say that there are 80 to 85% diseases are of alimentary canal, that is the digestive system, from where we take food and water. If we know the proper way of taking that food and that water, then we can reduce the diseases, or the frequency of getting ill is reduced. And that part, how it can be, that is dealt in the Bhojanacharya and how to take the water. For that, one smallest rule was given was Tanmana Bhunjit. What is this Tanmana Bhunjit? After the entry of TV in our house, we forgot to enjoy the food. Maximum times with our children or elderly people also, they prefer to take their lunch or dinner with the TV. TV show is going on, they are watching at the serials and they don't know what you are eating, what taste it has, how that can give nourishment to your body. Ayurveda says, Tan Mana. What is this mana? In yoga class or even aerobic, Zumba, whatever physical activities, what they always ask you, keep watch on your breath, how it is coming, when to inhale, when to exhale, and all that. So why? Because the controlling of that shwasa tries to give your concentration on that breathing part. Like that, Tanmana Bhunjit means you should be physically and mentally should be with that food, enjoying the food. We used to take our meal like other countries, they use some sort of support, just like spoon, fork, and all that, and then they eat. But what is our tradition? We use our fingers. Why? Because your physical contact prior going, no doubt there are acupressure points also in your tips. Why there was a said that when you finish your food and then we used to take, it was not like the cleaning of the fingers. It was the pressure giving to the point so that the good quality of digestive juices should be secreted. The moment you touch the food with your fingers, the signal goes to the brain. Yes, this food is coming. So it get this, it sensitize your buccal mucosa, your mouth, and the saliva starts secreting. There is a whole science behind it. If you have the curiosity, you can go through the search that what is the gut-brain relationship. Nowadays, they are saying that your stomach or your digestive system has the connection with the brain system also. But our science that was knowing that your first physical touch by looking at your food, that gives wow, so nice. Why there is the importance to that presentation of the food? Because after looking you should have that sense that, oh, it is nice food, I want to take it out. Then the smell, what I want to say you that all your panchendriyas, along with your body, when you put in that food, even in the less quantity, you will get the satisfaction. And you won't have the problem of overweight or obese. The whole procedure is explained in Ayurveda. How much regarding that is called Ahar Vidhi Visheshayatan. That is how much the quantity should be taken, how that quantity should be, how that food, what is the sequence. Because uh, nowadays we call it that there are only 4 tastes: sweet, sour, bitter, and but Ayurveda has the Shadar Rasatmak concept. Madhura Amla Lavana Katu Tikta Kashaya. These 6 rasas, when they should be in our diet, and we called it as a Shadrasatmak Ahara. And there is a sequence when that ahara rasa should be taken, which first, second, and third, and that it has the logic also. In brief, I will tell you, when you are much hungry, that means your digestive system is activated, the digestive juices are ready to digest something. So it is we common thing we can understand that the heavy material should be given first so that it will digest properly, and the lighter rasatmak ahar should be at the last. So the sequence should be madhura amla lavana katu tikta and kashaya, like that only. But nowadays what we are doing, in last we are eating the desserts, because the agni, that whatever digestive system we give first, that other things, food material, we eat it out, and after our tummy is full, then we give that dessert, extra load or burden on the bed. And that's why the problem arises. It was the small glimpse how we should eat our food, that the scientific way of eating the food has been described in that. Then about the same thing about the water. There is one shloka that ajirne bheshajam vari jirne vari balapradam bhojane chamritam vari bhojanante vishapradam. What does it mean? That if you have indigestion, or your food has not been digested properly, or you have not slept last night properly, you should skip at least your breakfast. I am telling this breakfast because nowadays it has become part and parcel of our lifestyle. Actually, Ayurveda don't have the concept of the breakfast. It has only the 2 meal concept. In between, if someone feels hungry or something, he can take milk or fruits. But as we have now, and the same concept, now the research paper is saying that there should be intermittent fasting. 16 and 8 rule. What they say? They're saying that for 16 hours, you should keep fast. Ayurveda says in different way. It says only 2 meals. In 8 hours, how much meal will be? 2 meal. Nothing needed in between. No breakfast, no high tea, nothing. But we have developed our mentality like that. Whatever comes from our root level, we are not that much accepting. But once it comes from outside, we think it is more appropriate. That is the irony of our mentality. So, and one more concept nowadays that is more getting, that in morning you should drink 1 liter of water or huge quantity of water and all that. Ayurveda don't say about like this. It says water should be, that means when you are hungry, eat only at that time. Drink water when you have real thirst. And what is this real thirst? And we call it as a false thirst. Real thirst is One, we feel after we have much sweat or after the 1.5 hour of our food, we really feel our body demand it that now the water is needed for the easy assimilation and disintegration of the food, because the churning and all thing has been happened in the stomach, and now the food has to be percolated in the further process, and for that the movement of the peristaltic is needed and water should be there. So one major mistakes we are doing that early morning we are putting too much pressure on our body by giving 1 liter or one, and I have seen many year patients they drink 2 liters, 3 liters, and so on. What they concept they have? Ayurveda don't have this concept. It says just only a one glass. That glass should be of the 200 ml only, because when we go in Punjab and Haryana, they have the 350 ml glasses also. So I don't tell generally in the form of the glass, it should be 200 ml of water. That much is sufficient. And in between your bites, you should have that water, sip by sip. Why? Because though we know that your each bite should be chewed for 32 times, but are we doing that? No. We are just, I think, hardly 14 to 16 times that bite is in our mouth and churned partially and all that. So for that purpose, in between sip by sip water is recommended, and not at the end of your food. It says ajirne bheshajam vari jirne vari balapradam. After 1.5 hour of your food you take it, that gives you the bala. Jirne vari balapradam. Bhojane chamrutam vari. With your it bite in between 2-3 bites, if you take a one sip by sip, that is bhojane chamrutam vari. Bhojanante vishapradam. If you take at the end of your food, it will act just like a toxin, because it will reduce your metabolism rate. And I mean, we know the term nowadays that is called metabolic disorders, and 2-3 diseases which are just India unfortunately becoming the hub for those diseases are the thyroid and diabetes. So somewhere we are missing that how to take the food and how to take the water, and we are doing injustice with our metabolism. And third is our sleep. 6 to 8 hours is needed. Many of us, they are not aware of the aspect of the sleep, that during sleep your body not only goes in the rest mode. Yes, it is good in rest mode, but that is for the physical activity. But second thing what it is doing is restoring the tear and wear what has been happened in your throughout the day. At the start of the lecture, I had used the terminology of machinery. In the sense, because all the activities during every action, there will be some burden, some work, some tear, and there in with the body. And that has to be taken care of in whole day. All of us living a style that for none fraction of second we are not at the rest, either physically or mentally. We are exhausting our body. What is called in हिंदी that जब हम कुछ नहीं कर रहे होते हैं तब भी हमारे दिमाग से हम हमारे शरीर को थका रहे होते हैं. Why this proverb has been come over there? As our lifestyle has become like that, and during that rest or during that sleep, our body do that restoration, so that next day it get again ready for next activity. With the invention of electricity, we have started working in odd hours also. With the evolution of the science, many are positive things has been happened, but there are some negative things also. That is one of this. Night shifts and night working has been started, and that has slowly become the part of our daily routine. But our body, when it was meant, it has its own circadian rhythm. By putting light on with drinking tea and coffee, I can stretch. I underline the word. We stretch our body, force our body to work. Slowly that body accept it, that I have to work in the night also. But whether that body is meant for it? No. None of the creature. Why there is the importance of so much importance for our sun in our Indian culture? There is so much importance to the Surya Namaskara also, Brahma Muhurte Uttishte, then Agnihotra Sanskara, which are on the sunrise and sunset. We were knowing Aditya Hridaya Stotra, we are enchanting for it for the good health and become strong, Baladayak. We are doing that. But we know that the sun is the sole power of energy. Every form of energy, ultimately, the reason behind it is sun. And though we think that we are some special, human beings think that we are more special, but no, in the nature, we are just like other creatures. And none of the creature is doing injustice with themselves like men. Our body has the, I said you that circadian rhythm clock. There are the concept of three dosha in Ayurveda, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. That Vata is not just like Adhovata or the flatus or the air. No, friends. Every science has its own terminology. Just like if I want to learn physics, I have to learn the definition of velocity only. I cannot say that velocity, I can talk in Hindi like chalatva, gamitva and all that. What is velocity? That proper definition, what thing should be called velocity, that we have to learn. And with that concept we applied, then we know that science. Same with the any science, with the chemistry. It has its own terminology, what we called it as the definition. While learning, all of us has gone through that. Like that, there are terminologies and the definition of Ayurveda itself also. So if we want to understand what is Vata, what is Pitta, what is Kapha, we have to go with that terminologies. Yes, some functions we can say they are similar to that, or that those functions come under the category of Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So this circadian rhythm, as there are three doshas, they are divided into 4 hours. That is, in the morning 4 hours, then 6 to 10, 10 to 2 and 2 to 6. All these 4 hours category are said to be the dominance call of that entity. Morning is Kapha Kala. Then in between 4 hours, that is 10 to 2, is a Pitta Kala. In general terminology, also we say is Pitta, Amla Pitta disease of that are digestive juices, they are coming over there. So the Kal which our body represent for that digestion, synonymous somewhat to Pitta, that is 10 to 2. So our food intake, our lunch should be in between that, 10 to 2. If we take that food in that Kal, our body is prepared for it. It send properly the digestive juices and all that, and there won't be then we don't have the problems with the digestion. What happens we take prior or after that? That is the Kal of different doshas. For example, if we take in morning, what we are nowadays doing breakfast, that breakfast we take prior 10 generally. That was Kapha Kala. Kapha has its own functions. Just like it has to do the snehan of your body, that lubrication part, all joints and all that for activities, even organ in between, all that. There are 5 types of kapha, 5 types of pitta, and 5 types of vata also, according to the functions. But if instead of that dosha vitiating kal, we take at the other time, then the body has to do the work of that dosha also, and we are putting the extra burden on that. So it is not recommended scientifically saying also to put extra burden on our body. One thing, while understanding the Ayurveda, basic rule we have to understand that Ayurveda has been developed on the base of the actions or the functions which are happening in our body. On the other hand, allopathy or the recent all sciences, they are anatomically more concentrated. They think what is your ideal anatomy should be, what are the changes in the anatomy, any growth or any position or anything. But as Ayurveda has a different way of looking at the diseases, they concentrate more on the physiology, or they call it as a karya karana bhav. Cause effect relationship, I think this terminology will be more suitable for some of our participants. Any problem can be seen with 2 aspects. From either you have to understand cause to effect, or you can go from effect to cause. These are the causative factors I know, so I can guess what could happen. Or I can see in the different way. This has happened, so what could be the cause behind it? What I will try to make you understand that looking at the prospect of the disease, Ayurveda, we all have the concept that Ayurveda treat the patient from the root, or the disease recurrence of the disease should not be there with the Ayurvedic medicines. Yes, there are the ways, there are the method of diagnosis, there are the treatment which prevents the recurrences of the diseases. But we have to give that much time also for that treatment. Nowadays, when we ask about the time, everyone has that, I don't have the time. And due to that concept only, the symptomatic treatment has been getting more importance day by day. none of us want to give the time. I have the headache, give me the tablet for the headache, and my headache has subsided. I am happy with it. But why that headache was precipitated on that special day or at that time, what was the cause or what etiology has been happens for that simple one sign and symptoms, we don't bother. We bother it when the disease come with its big form. Then only we go for it. So Ayurveda, when a proper treatment Ayurveda has to do, then it will go that though you have headache right now, the medicine is given that has been subsided, but what happens? Underlying etiology, is it been removed or it is still there or it will make some complication afterwards? Nobody knows what sign and symptom make what presentation after what time. Many a times patient tell us that yes, I have this complaint since 2 months, 2 years or something, but I have neglected. I taken some tablet, I get relief, and then I forgot. One of such classical examples you may find in with the nausea and vomiting. Many a times Ayurveda says that when one has the nausea or vomiting, they just your body. I told you that body itself has its own mechanism to make repair itself. So if with nausea or vomiting something coming it out, that means in first for some vegas of that vomit, body is trying to expel the things which are not needed by the body tried to digest it, but it is not getting, and then it throws it out. But we do that. Once you get the vomiting, we take the medicine and we suppress. So the factor which body was trying to expel, we have stopped it. So what it will do, there will be extra burden on the body. And Ayurveda says that if this kind of apachit am, that is the terminology over there, is there, that will represent in the form of the urticaria. Several itching patches and all that, they are on the body. Suppose if a patient come with this urticaria and patches on the body, and the history is not taken, just medicine has been given, yeah, anti-allergens and all that, yes, they will subside. But what happens? After some time, they will also recur. And this happens because the root cause was completely different. That has been forgotten with that suppressive medicine. I have given this a small examples or routine example, what we generally see in the practice. So, but looking at the classical part of the treatment of the Ayurveda, they will say that unless and until you are feeling weak or you are not comfortable, just 2, 3, 4 times, if something is coming out of that vomit, let it happen. And then they will give the medicine for the suppression, not with the first time, oh, it has happened, and suppress it out. Same happens with the jvara or fever also, that the moment fever come, generally we take the medicine and the fever subsides. But the toxins which are related or infection that has been in the body, due to which the presentation of the fever has occurred, that has not been taken care of. I had used the word langhana. For that, Ayurveda says that give your body some time to take care of itself. If you do the langhana, you don't eat anything for some time, few hours, your body will try to digest all those things. These are the small things, and the terminology or the concept I am trying to give you in the simple language. but it has the terminology called Hetuvarjan, Nidana Parivarjan. That is called that too. The cause, what was creating that sign or symptoms, that has to be taken care of, or that has to be avoided. There are, I told you about that Sushrut Samhita and Edinburgh, at what the statue and all that, and that get the world recognition that the first surgery in the human history has been started in Ayurveda, and that too by the Sushrut, Maharishi Sushrut. Just like that only, the father of the medicine is called to be the Maharishi Charaka. Today also, the concept of the treatment are as useful as in the ancient days. Where we are lacking with the methods of the diagnosis, because with the Ayurvedic physicians also, the method has diagnosis has been based now on the laboratory investigations. I already told you that Ayurveda has its own way of diagnosing. It has its own way of looking into the body. I told cause, effect, and effect causation. That is the basic difference over there. When Ayurveda consultant, they go with the laboratory investigation, no doubt laboratory investigations are needed. They are the parameters to see or get the idea how your body responding and all that. But that don't give you the cause effect relationship. That is the skill of the doctor or the Vaidya. All of us were knowing that prior 20 years, the single doctor was dealing with the whole body. Nowadays, what happened? Though it is a specialization, but what it has happened? Now the shoulder joint specialists are there, phalanges, different. Even this small part of eye, now retina specialists are different. It is good to be specialized or super specialized over there, but our body, it is as a whole, it manifests. Very few injury or the foreign material or something, they are only the specific to that organ or that part. Otherwise, if something happens with the one organ, the reason may be in one of the other different organ. For example, if your machine is making the noise, we have to check all the parts of that machine where the friction has been happening and where that greasing is not proper, or just sound is coming over there, that will be no, just I will look at the sound, I should not be able to listen it out. That can be the solution? No. Like that, if there is a presentation that stiffness in, suppose my stiffness is in my hand, or I am not able to uplift my hand, I have to look at up the whole metabolism of my body, that why my hand is not getting up. This way of looking at the body, we are nowadays missing somewhere. And Ayurveda always, for the simplest disease, want to take into the consideration as a whole body. And now you can understand, if you can look into the matter as a whole body, yes, there won't be, if that is treated like that, there won't be the relapse of the disease, because you have treated the root cause, right? So we have seen until now what is the significance of dinacharya, that is rutucharya. One more concept, ratricharya, we have seen it out. One, rutucharya. Ayurveda says that there are in as it is the science developed in the India, and in our India we have the all rutus in full fledged, 6 rutus, Vasanta, Grishma, Sharad, Hemant, and all that. These all rutus, our body, so many changes are happening in our body, and according to that rutu, we have to keep our ahar and vihara, what you will eat, what you will wear, and all that. As all our festivals, on that festival, what food we make it out, or the vastras which we wear according to that seasons, they are also necessary for maintaining our health. And that concept where all these things has been described, that is called as the ritucharya. And how that ritucharya should be followed, the principle given over there, that as we have a 12 months in 1 year, and in 1 year there we have 6 rutus, so each rutu for 2 months. So from when one rutu has been started, we have to do last 15 days of that rutu and upcoming rutu's first 15 days. In that 1 month we have to be more cautious. Just now we can see that now the rainy season has been started, and all of a sudden, if whatever we are eating, whatever clothes, whatever we are taking in the summer, if all of a sudden we change it out, we say that I'm getting cold, cough, and all that, and I feel low in the energy. Why? Because we have not given our body that time to adjust or to shift from one rutu to another. This whole scenario has been explained how that should be. That is called the rutukal and rutu sandhikal. That is also a unique concept of Ayurveda. Beside that, Ayurveda deals with the Garbhini Paricharya. That means there is whole rituals and whole uh, how each and every month of pregnancy, what should be the ahar, what should be the vihara, how her manovrittis should be taken care of, and all that. That has been explained. That is called Garbhini Paricharya. Then there is a Rajaswala Paricharya also, which nowadays we are leaving it. Yes, I am also a working woman. I know that in this era it is very difficult for the female to maintain that Rajaswala Paricharya, but up to some extent, yes, we can maintain it if we want to be physically fit. Yeah. We have to understand their nature has made male and female completely different. The hormonal changes, the frequency of the change in the hormones and their levels, they are more in female body, because female body has the main key role of the reproduction. So the female undergo the several peaks and downs of the hormones in her life, where at the puberty of or the menarche there are different hormones in our body getting secreted, they are achieving the level and all that. Every month there are the estrogen and progesterone, their levels, and they are making a difference in our body. Then during delivery also there are the changes, and at the menopause also there are the difference. All this has been taken care of in Ayurveda, and specific way of eating, how your food regime should be, what your activity should be, which there are some things which are our things to be avoided. All that has been also describing in that. Then one concept many are people, they say that why Ayurveda tells about Atma and Manaha. I told you that it is the Ved, Ayurveda, and that is the literature says that it has been the Upaveda of Atharva Ved. All our sciences, when they deal with Atma and Manaha, Mana many a times we easily accept it. But regarding Atma, the new generation now, they are not that much comfortable. But we have to understand some things. Or I generally tell my students what we call as the genetic code. When for everything there is a cause effect, for what characters or what things will go in the next generation. Some mechanism is there to govern that. Many a times we see that the kid in some cases exactly look like mother, or sometimes look like father, or they go 2 generation prior. We see in the family she is just like her aunt or that uncle, mama, or bua in Hindi, what we call it out. Why this happens? Ideally, the child should take the characters from the mother and father. But through generations, when something is coming, what can be manifested in that person, there is a mechanism which hold it or that govern. That mechanism part or that process, what name can be given to it? One more example. Suppose we see, we nowadays we are seeing some extraordinary, just like Divyanga, we have some persons we are looking in the society, they have the special ability. Extraordinary. One in KBC I have seen, or you might have, if you have seen that episode, that girl was able to read just like by smelling the pages. Is it possible? She was doing the on screen direct telecast, she was doing the demonstration. Is it possible to read with a organ which is made for the smelling? Some reason here can be given on the basis of the Ayurvedic one concept which is called as the Pancha Mahabhuta Siddhanta. That every organ, everything is Pancha Sarvam Dravyam Pancha Bhautikam. Only the constitution or the permittable and combination of these bhutas, they goes on changing. I am just giving you the seeds of thoughts that if we don't get the answers, you can get in the Ayurveda literature with your thorough study over there. Then one more concept I want to say, that in many people they have that and they with their own reading and WhatsApp University and all that, they try to take the medicine, and so many years just they go on taking by their own self medication and thinking that Ayurvedic medicines don't have the side effects. No, friends, it is not like that. How can it be? When we are talking at the cause effect relation, everything, anything, if it is acting and making some effect, there has to be side effect also. None of the dravyas in the universe without that. But yes, there are the methods or there are the scientific ways with which those side effects either can be minimized or subsidized. And Ayurvedic formulations are made on that basis only. That's why we see that none of the Ayurvedic formulation have the single drug. There are multiple drugs in single medicine. Because acharyas, after several years of observations and the usage of the drugs, they come to know that I want the desired property of the medicines this, but with that it has some undesired factor. So to subside that undesired one, they have added those combinations. So proper combinations and the proper timing, how many days you have to take any medicine. There is one concept in Ayurveda that is called Satmya concept, that you have to give break in between the medicines. People goes on taking 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. That medicine don't act that efficiently what it was acting in the initial phase. Why? Because slowly the body don't show that effect, that intensive effect which it was showing prior. So while taking the drugs, for how much time it has to be taken, under which circumstances for long duration you have to take, then what precaution should be taken. There should be in between washing out period, so that whatever drugs are accumulated in the body, they should be washed out, and then after giving that gap again you can restart those drugs. These common things we have to keep in the mind. And one concept is again unique concept of Ayurveda, that is called Aushadha Sevan Kala. None of the health sciences which are existing right now, they have that concept. Ayurveda has a uniqueness about that. It says if you take a medicine prior food, it can go to different organ and different system. If you take in between food, it will go to different system, different organ. After food or in the Brahma Muhurta, it will act differently. If you take at the Nishi Kalaha, that is Ratri, that is different. If you take with water, that will act differently. If you take with honey, madha, that will act differently. Several years of studies has been done on that, and after that concept, to go to the typical organ for desired effect which the Vaidya want according to his or her diagnosis, that concept can be used. Otherwise, दिन में 2 बार ले लेना और ये रात में ले लेना. Ayurvedic medicine cannot be taken like this. If you want to use it properly, they should be combined with this, because I told you like that now, that Tridosha Kala, I said it, that the 4 hours of each Kala and 24 hour has been divided in 3 Kala, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Pitta, Vata, and again Kapha, Pitta, Vata, that circle. You have to take that benefit, and that is also the uniqueness of this Kala. And one more, that as it is the ancient one, as ancient as the human history, all factors affecting or the sciences which were existing at that time, they all has been taken into consideration in Ayurveda. Yes, Ayurveda gives you some ideas about when to start the medicine, which nakshatra and which muhurta, with for which disease. It has in own ways of collecting the herbal medicine with mantrocharana and all that, that you have to go to the that plant or tree and make the prayer that I am going to take it for it. As it has a concept of Atma and Mana and all Jeev Srishti, that I am taking that medicine for my patient that should give the proper result, and I am using it for the well-being of the mankind. That is the concept also in Ayurveda. And one more concept and unique concept, that is of the Achara Rasayana. What is this Achara Rasayana? Ayurveda says if the Vaidya or the doctor, if he is not a good human being, he cannot give the 100% result to the patient, or what that called in Hindi, जड़ से बीमारी नहीं मिटा पाएगा. Root cause को खत्म कर you cannot give the. So the only science which gives how the Vaidya should be, what niyamas he should follow, niyamas for every day he's working, rules for the collection, for making, and how to dispense the medicine. So it is very huge concept, or in detail nothing. I never find a concept, or you might be also saying sometimes get the idea that whenever the research has some come on all that, and then Ayurvedic faculties, they say, oh, it's already been in Ayurveda. Yes, it is not like that. Now they are saying, so we are saying it is already in Ayurveda. Ayurveda has considered each and every aspect of the health science. But as I said, in between era, some bridging ladders are missing. Main challenge nowadays with that only, that we have to find out those gaps and make them fill with our knowledge, research, and the updation. This whole science is based first for the well-being of the mankind, not for the money making. Acharya themselves gives you the nowadays those whose children are learning in the health sciences, they know Hippocrates oath. Nowadays Hippocrates oath has been come over there. Charaka has already, so thousands years back, there was a Charak oath where it was saying that you have to, prior going or entering into the health science, you have to take that I will use my knowledge for the well-being of the, not for the cheating, not for the money making and all that. In the initial stages of the evaluation, so many factors has been taken into the consideration. And as we are running out of the time, the last concept I want to incorporate about the research. Trust me, whatever all of us might have read and understood, that the antibiotics or the medicines which are effective some years prior, now they are not effective. First generation antibiotic, second generation antibiotic, higher antibiotic, like that. Every time we have to change the medicine. Why this is happening? Isn't we are lacking somewhere else? I think the way we are looking into the disease or a human being, that scenario has to be changed. As we are using the chemicals only, we are making our body just a chemical factory. Every day we are putting so many chemicals only. In Ayurveda, classic Ayurveda medicines, we all know the herbal medicines, some minerals also. But minerals also has been activated by giving the bhamana dravya, that is one concept, how that make. with the herbal dravya, and then they become accessible for the human intake and safe for the human consumption. So research whatever will come in future, or the medicines that will become from Ayurveda only. And that's why whole world is going after it. You several times you have seen that haldi ka patent le liya, ginger patent has been taken and all that. I think I have tried to give the basic concept glimpse of the Ayurveda, how, overall how it look after the human body, ways of treating, how it more emphasize on the maintaining the health. That basic thing I tried to. Until now, I think the last 10 minutes I have to keep for the question and answer session. I will be very happy if I can answer your queries. So I will eagerly wait for it. Whatever questions among you have, now the forum is open for the question and answer session.
Thank you, ma'am, for a very informative lecture. Now, Mr. Raju, please.
Madam, namaskar. I'm a medical practitioner myself, allopathic physician, and I believe so much in Ayurveda. Thank you very much, Dr. G, for this yarn what you have given. I got a couple of questions, madam. You
Yes, sir.
mentioned about the cup, pith, and vat cycle. So 6
Yes.
a.m. to 10 a.m. is the morning, 10 a.m.
Yes.
to 2 p.m. is the afternoon, and 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. is in the evening,
Yes.
which means we must have dinner by 6 p.m. in the evening, madam.
Yes, sir. That's why you might have seen in Jain Dharma also they are that the sunset ke pehle you have to take the dinner. If
Yes,
you
madam.
want your mechanism go with the circadian rhythm, because
Yes,
that kala is there. Actually,
yes,
pitta kal will start for the evening. It will start at the time of after 10. Is it
yes,
not?
madam.
It is not possible for it. So you have to take at the juncture of that. The same dincharya we cannot follow for the ratricharya. Concept for the dincharya to go with it, that is different. And for the evening and night, they have given it out. Brahma Murte Uttishtet. Why they call it? Because that last 4 hours from 2 to 6 a.m. I am talking about it. That is the Vata Kala. That's why for yoga, for pranayama, your manas chintan, for that Vata Kala, the calmness in the universe, the resting, nature is also at the rest at that time. That all positive things will incorporate. And in through generation, our grandmothers told that if you learn or recite at the morning hours, that memory lasts long. And researchers are also there. So that kal should be there. So in morning kapha kala, then 4 hours of pitta, and then vat, and again it is the same cycle, kapha, pitta, and val. So if you take the food at the sunset, prior to sunset or near about that, that should be. And I think nowadays also they are saying that there should be 3 hours gap prior you go to sleep and your dinner. So both those things will correlate over there.
The correlating thing is, madam, regarding the food, what each one should eat during that kal. Now, in Vata kal, if I start eating food for dinner during that time, let us say 5:30, it is still Vata kal. Certain
Yes.
foods which can precipitate this Vata rogam, it is
Yes,
not
sir. That's
advisable.
why, yes, sir. That's why the regime which has been given for the dinner, they call that, you might have heard that in morning one should eat just like a king, and in the evening he should eat just like a fakir. Or
Yeah.
your quantity should be less in the night, because you are not taking in the pitta kala. So you have to balance in between, and that ahara should be lagu, that easily digestible form you have to take. Then it should not be the garishta ahara, that means oily, spicy, and all that thing you should not take. That can be taken in the morning hours. So that heavy food and all that. And with pitta kala, if it is going in out, it is good, your body will take care of it. But at night if you take it out, then your obesity will also increase, because your metabolism will slow down, and instead of your body has the extra burden of digesting that heavy food at the time of rest, because pitta kala will start at the 10, and that body during, not for the digestion, what I said, that the terminology of pitta you have to understand, it is not, one of the function is digestion, but rest of the that energy, courage, repairment, tear and wear also, that take it out. So I have gone to one study that those who are awaken or do work in between 10 to 2, that is pitta kala, instead of repairing, if they go on working and all that, they have the less hemoglobin, they have metabolic disorders more.
Yes, madam. Then my last one question, madam. You mentioned about the three rishis. Charaka is the father of medicine.
Yes, sir.
Sushruta, and the third one, what is the third one name, madam?
That is the Ashtanga Sangraha or Ashtanga Hridaya, the Kavyatmak part, where in shloka form it is given, that is Ashtanga Hridaya, and the descriptive part which is given, that is in the Ashtanga Sangraha, and the writer is Maharshi Vakbhat.
What about Agastya, madam? Agastya, where does he figure here?
Yes, sir. That is one or two references over there. One, Agastya Muni, they have evolved their own way of health sciences, that is called the Siddha. And it is the same Agastya Rishi which in our Puranas there is a story that they have drunk the whole sea water and they have came, that one story is there. All these Ayurveda, Unani, then Siddha, then Soaripu, which is Tibetic health science methodology, they have their own way of looking at the body. The Siddha, they have more orientation towards the one concept is there, three deha, karya deha, karana deha, and sthula deha. So whatever my understanding of that the allopathy more deal with that sthula deha, anatomically what is our structure, they look at that more. Ayurveda goes with sthula and sukshma deha, because it gives you the clear idea about atma and man and manas level and all that. And the siddha go beyond that also. So they have some formulations also, very differently they use it out. As I am not the expert of it, but what glimpses I have got from the literature and going through the syllabus, as I am an academician, I come to know that. So Siddha is also a different story, and they have very good results in some diseases during COVID. There are research papers also on PubMed. If we search it out, you will get the material over there.
Thank you very much, madam, for the wonderful talk. The first prayer, what you told, please put it in the group, madam. Before you started your lecture, you said a prayer. I request you to
Sir,
put it in the group.
actually, that was the prayer incorporating all the rishis who
Yes.
have the contribution in evolving the Ayurveda.
We
Near
wanted that.
about 54 rishis are there, and they were all the researchers of that time. One concept which has come over there, they were the expert of it. Just like I told you, the Vata dosha, there was a Ayurveda rishi who was expert of it. Like that, it is not that only Charaka was the main, but in his guidance, just we said, na, the report has been submitted by this. But all of them have the contribution, and with that, there are several symposium documented in Charak Samhita, that how many symposiums has been happened, how many researchers those rishi has come. They are always what are their different opinions and how unanimously that has been taken care, and after that which siddhantas has been universally accepted. we feel amazed when we go through that simple. Nowadays we take up that research paper we have to publish, and then what are the review articles are coming for that, and critical analysis and all those things has gone thousands of years back, and all they are documented in the Charak Samhita.
Yes. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Ma'am,
Very
can
good.
we have prayer, and will you be there for some more time, 10 or 15 minutes after prayer? Or you're in a hurry? You will be there?
Okay, 10-15 minutes. Sir.
Okay. Okay. Please, Anjana Shastri Garu, please do the prayer.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यश्यालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ओम शांति 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 ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु स्वस्ति
Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Swasti. Thank you, Anjana Shastri Garu. Now I request Dr. Kalpana ji to sing the national anthem. Let us rise for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद.
Jai Hind. Thank you, Kalpana ji. Now we'll go back to our question answers. I request all to be please brief and to the point. Dr. Satyanarayana ji. Dr. K. Satyanarayana.
Okay, Namaskar, madam. It was a great philosophical lecture. So one thing I wanted, so was there any veterinary sciences in Ayurveda? I mean, so were there any treatments for the animals, animal treatment? Animal treatments have been mentioned in the Ayurveda? I'm not able to hear.
What you call, sir? Element treatment?
Veterinary sciences, animals treatments.
Yes, yes, sir. There are Vriksha Ayurveda also, Gava Ayurveda also, Ashwa Ayurveda also. As in, we have to, one basic thing while going through the Ayurveda, you have to always keep in the mind socio-economical structure at that time.
Correct.
So according to that time, what were used, all has been over there. So I said always ki we have to update according to nowadays, right? But at that time, ashwas were used for war and all that. They were the status symbols also. For chariot and all that, they were required. So there was ashwa Ayurveda also. Go for cows, we know what was the important. It is still there and it is equally that will remain forever. So Gava Ayurveda also there. Same, I give you one idea that how the plants should be taken, how they are collected, at what time, and the method of the collection, when to take the leaf you want to take it out, when to take stem and all that out. You will be amazed. You, if you read that lecture in deep sense, you will know that they have taken care of that the plant should not be harmed. And you will get that how they come to know that the leaf will have more extract or the more active principle at that time only. Bark will have that active principle more. That specific plant have active principle in bark, active principle in flower. How they come to know, it gets amazed. They might have done so much study, or they might have their own way of research methodologies for it, and with that they came to know that this flower is more useful. Flower have the proper one or two studies has been there in my knowledge for just like dashamula, maximum people they know that word, that the more has been, that root has been taken, that plant has been studied for the active principle in stem, bark, leaf, flower and all that, and then root. So the desired extract was in mool only, so they give that the mool or root of this plant has to be used, leaf of this plant. So they have gone through all aspects and after that they have written. But how they have come to that conclusion, we are not knowing, frankly speaking, because we are missing those literature. We know Nalanda and Takshashila, they were there. And when that Khilji has burned that, for 3 years the literature was burning. So that books, that knowledge, that might have been vanished with that.
So I am a pharmacist, madam. So I am a pharmacist. So
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, so I know all
Yes.
these things. So one more
Ayurveda
thing.
has their own pharmacy rules, pharmacy knowledge about Ayurveda. How much time I will a low pull, I will say you it. Just like you might have heard that Abhrak Bhasma has sorry, I lost the network. Suppose the Abhrak Bhasma has to be used. With so many researches and all that, they have given the idea that for making that Abhrak Bhasma or Suvarna Bhasma, for example, many people they know it out, that is how much time, that energy you have to give in how many kilocalories should be burned over there, and after that that become the accessible for it. One Sahasraputi Abrak Bhasma, they say out that for 1000 days, that much of energy you have to give that abraka, then that bhasma will become, and that will be active, and that is safe for the human consumption. Nowadays, just imagine, is pharmaceutical company will afford that doing that one medicine, it will make it for the 1000 days, and after that they will prepare how much it will be cost. So what they have make the adjustment, that this much calories we will give it out, and for 1000 multiplied by 1000, and they will give it in one stroke only. That is not expected in Ayurveda. They might have seen that results, that if you give all this at a one time, that is not that much safe for it. If you give for 1 day to that, then allow it to rest, then again second day, then allow it to rest, and like that you have 1,000 days with that. So there are several factors for that why we are not getting that results over there. But you might have seen the successful Ayurvedic practitioners, they prepare their medicine by themselves. They are more successful. If you collect the data throughout the India, you will find that. Why? Because they know what content I have put. Beside that, they are using the substitute dravyas. For example, now Gugulu, Comifora Mukul, the pharmaceutical name, that is not in that proportion available over there. So they have somehow, afterward literature, one more drawback has been happened to Ayurveda with the fact that the people who are not that much authenticated in between era, they have written the book with the name of the known personalities that don't have the base also. And that from that literature that has come that Shallaki drug can be used instead of Mukul or Gugulu, you are not getting it out. And now the pharmaceutical companies with the formulation where the Gugulu was indicated by the Ayurveda, they are putting the medicine with that Shallaki. How we expect that it will act like the classical text what it gives? It is not possible. These are the practical difficulties. These are the challenges in front of the Ayurveda. But we have to go through it, and with time, I think there will be the ways for this to solve.
We'll take the next question. Krishna Prasad ji.
Dr. Kavita ji, it's been a very inspiring talk by you. Thank you very much. I have actually a set of questions to be put to you as I was noting down. What I'll do is, I'll just very quickly read those questions, and one by one, I'll again remind you if required. It's about the testing methodology in Ayurveda. Testing methodology. Like, for example, if you see...
Sir, you are talking about the testing methodology for the disease or the drug or manufacturing?
Okay, I am talking about the treatment for a patient. So which includes everything, Okay. For example, for a synthetic drug, you have testing on animals and human beings. Because I also deal with clinical trials as a business developer. I also worked in the pharma industry. Basic thing is a synthetic drug has got the concept of absorption, distribution, metabolizing, and excretion.
Yes.
Based on this, they do a lot of studies, which includes the animal studies. Then, as you said, plants and other things. And of course, on healthy individuals to start with, and also the patients at a later stage, at various stages.
I got, sir, you are about clinical trials. I will explain.
Yeah, that's one. Other one is, how are the arsenic compounds quantified in Ayurveda, which is one of the main allegations?
Got the point. I will explain.
Other one is, do we have expiry dates specified on Ayurvedic medicine?
Yes, sir. I will explain.
Yeah. One more thing is, the government of India has started Ayush department, if you know.
Yes, sir. Ayurveda, I will explain.
Yeah, that is Siddha and homeopathy for all of them.
Yes, sir.
How do you think they are helping specifically Ayurveda? Are they really effective or not? Because
sir, I will explain. I will explain.
Department of Pharma and other things. And
yes. Ayush name itself has all those contents. A for Ayurveda, Y for Yoga, U for Unani, S for Siddha.
Krishna Prasad, please restrict your questions. I think that is enough. Ma'am, you please answer.
Yes, sir. This will be our last question, actually. I have to...
Ma'am, the last one is about CROs. Do you have any clinical research organizations for Ayurvedic?
Sir, that all will come under clinical trial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
First, which are the smaller answers that I will cover first, and clinical trial will need 2-3 minutes, so I will take it afterwards. Okay. First, Ayush department has been started. A for Ayurveda, Y for Yoga, U for Unani, S for Siddha, and H for homeopathy. And all this has made a word Ayush. government has formed that organization and all this put under that Ayush heading with a vision, because all these are the different pathies. Until date, they are supposed to be the complementary to the allopathy. And as allopathy has a worldwide acceptance, what I said, one statement in my lecture, that we cannot play cricket with the rules of the football. But दुर्भाग्य की बात है, unfortunately, we have to, if I want to prove something, I have to put my work in the language the allopathy understand. That is the real challenge in any traditional method of medicine. दुनिया एलोपैथी की भाषा ही सुनना चाहती है. I will call it out. So with that vision, they have made that accept allopathy, what are the established one in India, they have made in one. There is a collaboration. There is always an exchange of research work, and the experts come together and make how they can contribute, or what are their concept, how they can put forth in the forum of the allopathy. What All India Institute of Ayurveda, Ayya's all institutes, they are doing it. That is the 1%. One concept. Second, about your toxicity. Sir, none of the drugs are in Ayurveda are toxic. Then how this toxicity comes? There are 2-3 ways. One, I given you the example of the Abrak Basma. If pharmaceutical companies making such shortcuts over there are not studies, or they have how it is always debatable and challengeable how much they are safer. If the drug is made with the exact process, with no cut short in the drug, no cut short in the method, no cut short in the timing, no cut short of anything, then it won't give you any side effects. That's why I'm saying the Ayurvedic successful practitioners, they are making their own medicines. One beautiful example, if you can go and search with the Balendu Prakash of Ayurveda. He is treating pancreatic cancers successfully. Globally accepted research are there. And he is giving, when the rasaushadis or drugs, like metallic drugs they are using, he is making by his own. He is with traditional methods only he is giving. One more thing, some years back there has been a reaction, and they found that this Ayurvedic drug has the lead. Then when all the investigations has been done, and then they come to know that, you might be remembering, up to some years back there was leaded petrol was coming. The supplier of that drug has the farmhouse beside that petrol pump. That leaded petrol tank, which are underground, we know up the machine is there dispensing, and underground they store it out. That tank has been leaked, and that underground has gone in that there. If such things can happen, how can we blame? Because we, and in our India, we all know the scenario. Bhrashtachar kaise, kahan par, kya hota hai. If these things are happening, they are beyond the control. So metallic drugs, if they are used, one more concept in Ayurveda, none of the metallic drug they have used without the process of herbal thinking in that. Somewhere in making the procedures they have used, because the concept of jivo jivasya jivanam, Nothing can be 100% body without hazardous side effect will come over there. And that's why allopathy has more side effects, because artificially prepared chemicals they are using. What salt we are using nowadays? We have taken research work to the other extent that as salt which is used in the bodies, which was made from the seawater, it has the constituent of NaCl. And we are preparing in the laboratory, factories, by putting the NaCl, and we are consuming that. So how that salt is safe for the human consumption? It has to do some side effect. All the things, just one example I have given to put my point. So several things are there over there. Then your expiry point was there. Yes, clearly indicated in Ayurveda that for how many days churna should be used, aristas should be used, kwatha should be, decoction should be used. Even not for the prepared medicine, they have taken that if you have collected as a raw material also and you have not processed anything, still how many days you can keep it out, all has been there. But yes, I accept there are challenges with it. Only pharmaceutical company will bear that. And even people also, nobody follows that. And there are no that much strict rules over there. Rules are there, but implementation about the Ayurvedic medicine, because people have also their own concept and ideas regarding the medicine. So that happens. And next, I think I have covered the smaller, now the clinical trials. See, there, after many year discussions and many year observations and all those things, animal trials are not mandatory for the human trials. Yes, Ayurvedic medicine, prior coming to the market, they have to go human trials. But as they are several centuries time tested, already phase 1, phase 2 has been happened so long back, they have been exempted for it. All the things has come from the observation. Prior any research, those who have the research origin, they know that first it start with the observational studies. From observations, you come to know some things. Oh, this can be. What is the effect between that? What is the correlation between that? And research go like with that only. So they are used for several generations. One thing has been proved that they are not lethal or hazardous for the human consumptions. So that part has been carried out. So that exemption has been given to the Ayurvedic medicines. But prior launching or with some more combination which pharmaceutical companies, if they are making by themselves, not indicated in the Shastra, according to classical literature, that formulations are coming, there are different rules. And you might be knowing, in the Ayurvedic medicine, if you see it out, they write the reference book name on that. Bheshajya Ratnavali or Kashyapa Sanhita or Sahastra Yoga. These are the medicine formulations book, classical books. They write it down. But some Vaidyas, they have the generations Vaidyaki or Ayurvedic consultancy in their family. So for that formulation, clinical trials are there. There are centers in India. There are CRAs, clinical research associates were there. There are principal investigators are there. There are ADR, adverse drug reporting is also there. All the mechanism is there, and after that drug coming out. But आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन बनाना हर किसी को बहुत आसान लगता है और अपनी मर्जी से क्वैक्स दे डू इट आउट. सो both sides are there. It's
Thanks a
not
lot,
like
ma'am.
that. There is not a method of clinical trial, no research associate, no ADR, or no informed consent. It is not like that. Everything is there. Everything goes in on it, but simultaneously some things also come in the market.
Thank you
Okay,
so
ma'am,
much.
we'll take the last question. Sridhar Subramanianji.
Namaskar, madam. Thank you very much for that very informative session. I enjoyed the session right through. Now, you talked about the 2016 Nobel Prize being given for autophagy to the Japanese scientist Yoshinori Osumi. Now, there is another, like similarly, like we have done that earlier and it's there in the body of knowledge. You know, there is a process called topikarna. Like, you know, topikarna. Like we in South, we call it topikarna. Typically, you know, when the teacher gives that as a punishment, you know, and we also do it in front of Ganpati ji in the temple. We touch these two earlobes and
Yes.
do three. Yes. So that is called topikarna, karana,
Okay.
ear. So that
Sir,
is also
you will see in United States there has been the not topical now only. Previously, our Gurujis used to that you are not listening properly and they do like this.
correct.
They
Boxing the ear.
have
They tweak the ear.
acupressure
They
points over there.
Yes.
And by pressing it, your concentration for timing increases.
Correct.
Even that
Now,
murga banena in Hindi they call it out na.
Right.
That is also the
question
posture.
is still there, madam. It's relevant to the topic.
Yes.
Abhi
Yes.
though, you know, they have patented turmeric also. Kyunki turmeric is used as a therapeutic thing in our system.
Yes.
Now, from what you told us during the session, it is not just Rajashraya, which is keeping the Ayurveda as a backbencher, because the dominant narrative is allopathy.
Yes,
Because
sir. Actually, all research is a pharmacy driven. Those who are medical fraternity, they will agree with me on paper or off paper that all research and all the medicine and health science, it is the unfortunate that it is the pharmacy driven. Even the molecule which has been under the clinical trials, and if they found that through years they have spent so much money on that and they are not getting the result, they will put something, juggle with the biostatistics and make the data, and they will bring that molecule for something else disease. Pharmaceutical company won't not a single penny they will waste it out. They will make money for it.
I understand that, madam. But abhi kya hai? You know, at least in India, we can adopt Ayurveda because it's a Veda and it attacks the root cause of the whole problem, root cause analysis. And at least if they are not accepting, that is their problem. Over a period of time, the acceptance will gain ground. But right now, at least because of Rajashraya, we can promote it in India in a very big way. The only thing I think which stands in between is the time. We want ready fixes, instant generation hai aajkal ka. तो अभी immediately चिकित्सा चाहिए हमको. I want to go to work. So Dolo 65 ले लो.
Yes, sir. There are two things with that. One, according to the era, we have to make the in mind of every at least Indian that for instant symptom relief, these medicines can be used, or life-saving, it can be used. But for curing the disease, you have to take to the Ayurveda. And one initiation for this has been taken by the government, at least in some state, that they have make a correlation or combined OPDs of allopathy and Ayurveda in cancer research hospitals. Because they have seen, there are the data that with chemotherapies, that will now the established one, that medicine will go, but what the side effects of all those drugs happens, that care that has been taken care by the Ayurvedic part, that has been started. I will say that that is the one good initiation. And second, as it is our science, but it is not our first line of choice for the health. First line of treatment, we always give preference to allopathy. If Indians, they start to give the preference to the Ayurveda, the scenario will very soon change. There will be documentation, and nowadays there are so many ways to give the information from one place to another so fast. That will happen. So we have to change our mentality, and Indians nahi karega to kaun karega?
Dhanyawad, madam. Thank you very much.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much for your patient answering all the questions. Now we'll close the session.
Yes.
Good morning. Have a nice day, all of you.
Thank you very much.
Close the
Ma'am.
session.
Thank you.